So hello guys, hope you're keeping well. Today we are going to be comparing the Republicbricks 303rd build to the 501st Battle Pack. Yes, this isn't a fair comparison. However, I think that between the speeder and the ATRT, there's a lot of hidden features we could take a closer look at to compare against each other. Obviously, the likelihood of Lego ever changing their design is impossible. However, if anyone who agreed with me here, would support it, maybe Republicbricks could end up changing his. But with no further ado, we'll jump straight in the video. And first off, we'll compare the speeders. So moving on, we're going to look at the speeder bikes against each other. I've got myself a couple of questions next to me here. They will be used to compare the two builds over a set of stages. First of all, we'll discuss the build process. Now, it isn't fair, like I've said before, to compare one person's custom creation against a toy making superstar. There's points of the building process, especially in the custom build, which I found were a little bit confusing and unfortunately let it down ever so slightly. Obviously this is solid, it is a play toy, that's why they have to make things so good. Nothing is going to come off, nothing's flimsy, everything is pretty fixed on. In comparison to this, there is unfortunately a couple of weak points, especially the back section here only being connected on by the one stud. There is a heavily in-depth review of this, I'll link that in the description. But for now, we'll be looking over the 501st one, then we'll be looking over the 303rd one. So starting off with the back here, the back portion of the build is really sturdy. Everything is nicely fixed in. A lot of plates kind of to build the height up, which I think is excellent, rather than using solid bricks. Really does look really nice. Really like how they've replaced the torpedoes from previous speeder bikes with the blasters with the lightsaber hills. I think it's really cool. Kind of the exhaust system here, using the grills on both sides of this build, and also kind of an air intake point there, I think kind of adds just little hidden details. Whether this was a play feature or not, I really like how the bike handles themselves actually move, so you can pose the bike almost as if it was, hitting a corner or something, or you could lift them both up as if he's really trying to push the bike up, or pull them both down as if we're trying to brake or something. I'm not too sure, but I think that is also a really cool element of playability in this set. I've noticed that when you move the two bars around, the 2x1 clip with the stud don't have a tendency to lift ever so slightly when you try and move it around. I think that's kind of inevitable, as there's no other way you could really fix that in to get the playability with the handlebars. To me, the only portion of this set which I dislike and I think lets it down is the two ugly stud shoes on the front. Now, yes, this is a child's toy. Yes, there's got to be some level of playability in it. However, I think in the community, when we were asking for 501st Battle Pack, I was kind of hoping we would get a Battle Pack with a speeder and an RT that we could also use for mocks and things. To me, this speeder bike is slightly too long. It isn't very mockable, if you ask me, and the stud shoes on the front do not help it at all. It almost looks like headlights or stupid eyes on the front of the bike. Unfortunately, just lets it down. However, overall, this is a really good build and a really good bike. It's just a shame that they had to put the stud shoes on the front. In comparison to the 303rd one from Republicbricks, much smaller build, therefore it kind of is a bit more mock accurate. Starting with the back portion, unfortunately the back portion is extremely loose. As I said before, there is a full review in my most recent upload. I will link that in the description if you want to check that out, of this bike. I'm not a huge fan of how many studs are on show here. I like the use of the angle piece and the curve piece, and gives it a bit of detail. I just wish it was a bit more sturdy, because for rough play that will pop off. The use of the torpedoes on the side as well, I think it's kind of a bit dated compared to the new look. Now, at the time of this pre-order, this wasn't out, so and Republicbricks has been doing this for I believe he's been doing it for over a year now, this custom alone. So yes, there is elements of this that could change in the future. I really do like the seat detail on this kit. The use of the air vent slope piece and that little 1x kind of half stud is a really cool use to get some seating detail in it. However, the shame in that is when you put that in place, unfortunately, the minifig's head doesn't really line up with that point very well, which is a shame if you ask me, as it would have been so cool if we could have got that up there to match the minifig. Now, in comparison to the 501st one, there is no kind of movement in the bike bars as such without popping the fig off. He's only held on in 2 studs just there. You can only just make them out there. However, a huge bonus is this set looks ridiculously a lot more streamlined than the 501st. The use of the 2 little clips on the front there really does help this set out and makes it look a lot more streamlined, and I probably would say a bit more accurate to the real deal. And one feature that kind of does push me off a little bit is this kind of midsection here, the gap. I'm not really too sure what that is for. It's just a shame that that is there. Otherwise, you would have a really good streamlined kind of look to this set. The sides do have tendency to pop off as well, and the whole back part is falling apart now. So the final question I asked myself for this build is, what is next for it? The next part, I think, for these builds for me would be, I'm more than likely going to be sticking the battle pack on the shelf. I think that there is plenty of good videos out there to make this the same size as this, but also have as many little cool fun details as this has. I think there's enough of that already out there on YouTube. So I'm definitely going to be customizing my battle packs, especially the speeders, and shortening them down. Bringing in the ATRTs, it's going to be really hard to compare these because one is about twice the size as the other. So starting off with the build process. The build process for both of these sets was really good. This took all of about 2 minutes to build, whereas this takes slightly longer, obviously due to the amount of parts on it and that. However, both builds were really fun and I really did enjoy them. Moving on to details over this set, we will start with the 501st one and then we will look at Republicbricks one. Details on this set, obviously with it being so big, you have got that control panel look on the front there, as well as that there's some binoculars on the back, enough room for a blaster, and the overall front of this set I think looks really cool. Really well built for, you know, deflecting rounds that would hit, and I like the use of the battle damage for the stickers. This mixel joint here is absolutely awesome for some articulation with the gun. However, once again, it is a stud shooter gun, and I just wish that we could have got something a bit more like it would be in Star Wars. I just really dislike stud shooters, so I'm probably being a bit harsh. However, the feet and legs are really sturdy. Everything holds weight very well. The feet are really big. However, they do look really quite cool if you ask me personally. I do like the look of them, and this set, for the size of it, is exceptionally sturdy and won't go anywhere. Features I don't like about this set purely is that the height of it is, it's just too big. It is very not mockable. I just think that there was a couple of things that Lego maybe could have done better on this set. Yes, it's a kid's toy, I understand that. However, I think, like I said before, the community wanted this battle pack for so long. Maybe they could have made something that was a bit different rather than what we've already had. Moving on to the Republicbricks ATRT. This is a very fun little build. I built 3 of these off the trot straight, and I think I could remember by muscle memory the process for it. Very sturdy build for the size of it. This whole front section I didn't think would be as strong as it is. The only part I think that's not so strong is the fact that there's only one stud holding this grill on the front. However, everything else on there is really well connected in. There's some good articulation up and down. Fortunately, we've got no side-to-side movement. However, that doesn't really bother me. And another little detail that isn't quite correct is the two antennas are one in front of the other. They should be one on the left, one on the right. The legs are posable, just as posable as that. However, one thing I've noticed is, for you try and get like a decent pose on this set, the likelihood for it to lean is quite, it does really want to lean, which is unfortunate. It is a bit hard to balance on one leg due to the weight, although it is such a small build. However, I really do like this build, and there's also a full in-depth review of this set from my other video, which will be linked in the description below. So here it is, guys, the two sets back together. Now, there is no clear winner in my eyes for these two sets. You can't really say that. The 501st one is better than the custom one, because unfortunately this just is way too big. However, it is also extremely unfair to be comparing a toy superstar to a guy who's just having fun making custom Lego for collectors and members of the community. However, I think there's a lot of details in this and pros and cons we can take away from both battle packs. Yes, it would be nice if the ATI was a bit smaller. Yes, it would be nice if that didn't have them two ugly headlights on the front, and it'd be really good if this set wasn't so flimsy and didn't break in the middle or had such a wobbly back section. If there is a winner here, it is definitely this 80RT. For the size of it and the price of it, it is really well built, and in my eyes it is extremely mockable. There's a lot of potential to make this a similar size to the RB speeder bike, and a lot of potential for this set to be mockable as well. However, I just do not see potential in the Republicbricks one or the Lego 501st AT-RT. It is just unfortunately too big. But please let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Please, if you haven't already, like, share and subscribe. This is day 2 of isolation uploads. I plan on making a video every day I'm in isolation, just to pass the time. So yeah, if you haven't already, please check out my Instagram. It is 21_bricks_, and I will see you guys in the next one.